Are the next Mario Kart and Smash Bros games already well into development? Well, today we have some news that definitely suggests that things are going down. Let's talk about it. Hello there, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Botox Games, and today I want to talk about this recent news coming out of Bandai Namco, of all companies, involving the forming of a new studio specifically dedicated to Nintendo Switch development. So this news came out a couple nights ago, so I'm a little bit late here, but if you go to Bandai Namco's website, they actually have this whole webpage dedicated to this new studio they formed, being Studio 2 and Studio S, or Studio 2/S Studio. It's a little weird. There's an ampersand there, there's an and sign, but it is just one studio, I think, as far as I can tell. So the naming's a little bit weird, but if you look at this website, it is very clear that this is just a Nintendo development team within Bandai Namco, which isn't that surprising. Bandai Namco has been a very serious partner for Nintendo really since the Wii U days, starting with, I guess, like Smash Bros for Wii U and 3DS, but also they helped with the developments of Mario Kart 8 and then 8 Deluxe and the Booster Course Pass, but also stuff like Mario Sports Superstars and ARMS. However, Bandai Namco has always been kind of this weird entity where there weren't like clear-cut studios. They just had a bunch of people working on different things, and I'm sure internally they did have more concrete groupings, but for the general public, it wasn't obvious like, okay, this is the team that makes Tales of Arise. No, people just say it's Bandai Namco. But at the same time, you know that team isn't the same team that makes Tekken, so it seems like they're consolidating a little bit and just making everything a little bit more clear-cut. This is what this team does, this is what this team does. So having a dedicated Nintendo development studio is really exciting, and it's just nice to have this kind of clear-cut, like, this is what this team does, and I think it's a sign of things to come. And I do have to say, I think at this point all Japanese developers and publishers should probably be looking into doing something like this. I think we heard a story a couple years ago about Square Enix. I think they opened a studio specifically for Nintendo Switch ports, but this, in this case, is explicitly for new games. So while Bandai Namco helping on Nintendo games isn't news, this announcement and this studio kind of restructuring is a telling sign that they are in it for the long haul, and they are planning on supporting Nintendo with the Nintendo Switch 2, of course, well into the future in a more meaningful role. I think the timing of this is also not a coincidence. Everybody's expecting new hardware next year or in 2025, and I think this is one of those things like, you're planning out your next generation of games. You know, I'm sure there's a document within Nintendo, right, that has a general roadmap of the next 10 years of games they want to make. Kind of like the MCU roadmap or something, right? I would imagine it makes more sense for Bandai Namco right now to get ahead of that and just have this all ready and planned out, ready to go for the next generation of Nintendo consoles and to support them in a bigger and better way. So I'll be honest, when I saw this news and I saw Studio S, my first immediate reaction was Smash Bros. Now, that S probably stands for Switch, then it really makes you question what the 2 stands for, of course. But Studio Smash, Studio Switch, whatever you want to call it, if you look at the job hirings for this new studio, one of the job descriptions explicitly says construction of stage specifications, level designs, etc. for side view action games. So to me, that is clear as day Smash Bros. Smash Bros is a 3D game with a 2D view, and I feel like this is our first real hint that the next Smash Bros game is in development. Now, we have heard from Sakurai, I think he said explicitly that like it's not happening right now because he's not involved or whatever the case may be, but I think this is all just like future news. Like, this is stuff that they're setting up for the future of the Smash Bros series, the next Smash Bros game that will inevitably have to come out on the Switch 2, even if Sakurai isn't involved or if he's just in it as a supervisor, that kind of thing. This is them setting up hiring for the development of the next Smash Bros game. And also worth noting, they're probably also going to start hiring for Mario Kart as well. They've also already retroactively kind of attributed Smash Ultimate, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Mario Kart Tour, and a lot of those other games to Studio 2/Studio S. So I think it's pretty safe to say this team will probably be helping the internal Nintendo teams with the next Mario Kart game, with the next Smash Bros game, and then with anything else. I mean, there have been rumors that they might be remaking Kid Icarus Uprising because they were hiring for a 3D action remake, I believe, or something along those lines. That could be as well. And when I say, like, okay, they're hiring for a side view action game, that doesn't necessarily mean Smash. It could be a new IP, it could be something else entirely. Although I think, given this company's track record, given what the people within the studio have done, Smash Bros and Mario Kart are the core things here. So it makes sense to get the studio founded, get it really kind of like in the forefront, like, hey, this is a name. We have a name now for a big chunk of the development team that makes Smash Bros. And assists in the development of Mario Kart. Get it all founded now, and then moving forward, when they announce Smash Bros. Ultimate 2 or whatever it would be called, right? They can really just be like, hey, this is from Studio S, but also Sora Limited and Nintendo, right? To me, this feels very similar to when Nintendo restructured a lot of its internal teams and they got rid of the EAD moniker and went all in on EPD. They consolidated their handheld and home console stuff and all of that restructuring that went on, I think back in, 2015 or 2016. It reminds me of that. It feels like setting up for the next generation, the prepping of the next, like, several games that they will make in collaboration with Nintendo. And I just think that's really exciting because we have to get a new Smash Bros. Game and we certainly have to get a new Mario Kart game. I would assume Mario Kart would come first. EPD 9, you know, their last full game was ARMS, and then they did ARMS DLC, of course, and then they did the Booster Course Pass, but safe to assume they've been cooking something else in the background. So I would imagine Mario Kart 10 is already in development. I've seen some people saying that, oh, maybe that game's already done and they're just waiting. I don't think that's the case. It'd be really weird from a development standpoint to be making the next home console Mario Kart and then at some point just pause halfway through development and then be like, oh wait, we should make some DLC real quick for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I think if they are going to get started on the next Mario Kart 10, I'd imagine that would probably start at the beginning of next year, and then who knows how long that'll take. I would expect it to release within the first 12 months of the Switch 2's release, so whenever that comes out, a lot of people think it's late 2024. I think it's going to be 2025. Just do the math there. I think it'll be a very early launch title. And not to say that they haven't done any work. I shouldn't say that. I'm sure like pre-planning and all that was happening this year if they were working on the Booster Course Pass at the same time. But I definitely wonder, you know, how far in development that game is. And then Smash Bros. Really hard to say. Sakurai has said he's not currently involved in anything. And I don't think they'd be making a new game already if he's not involved in any way, because I imagine he will be involved, at least in some sort of supervisor role. So I'll be curious to see what is going on with Smash Bros. Maybe they're just planning on porting Smash Ultimate. I don't know. And then beyond that, what else can we expect to see from Studio S? It's worth noting that Bandai Namco, I don't think it's attributed to Studio S, but Bandai Namco did assist in the development, of course, with Pokken Tournaments, obviously, but also new Pokemon Snap. So they also have some Pokemon Company roots in there as well. It'd be cool to see them collaborate maybe directly with Game Freak on something, assist in development of the mainline Pokemon games. That would be cool. But as for Studio S, I think Mario Kart and Smash Bros. Will be the main MO, with maybe some remakes and stuff in there as well, and maybe even something new entirely. I mean, they are working directly with EPD 9, which makes Mario Kart, and they also helped them make ARMS, so maybe it's something new from them again. I mean, hell, maybe ARMS too. I am an ARMS defender. I would love to see ARMS get a second chance because I love that game. Although I think right now the priority for this team will definitely be Mario Kart and Smash Bros. So let me know what you think down in the comments below. Do you think it's smart for Bandai Namco to be kind of restructuring a little bit and forming the studio specifically for Switch games? To me, I look at this news and I think it's a bright sign for the future. It shows that Bandai Namco is committed to supporting Nintendo and the development of their biggest selling games. I mean, think about it. Bandai Namco, I saw some people saying like, oh, this is kind of weird because Nintendo doesn't own Bandai Namco. If you're Bandai Namco, why would you not want to help and be credited with the development of Mario Kart and Smash Bros? Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, a game they worked on, is about to become the best-selling Mario game of all time at like 60 million units or something around there. Smash Bros. Ultimate is the best-selling fighting game of all time. I understand they obviously are going to care maybe a little bit more about like Tales of and Tekken because those are actually owned by Bandai Namco, but come on. There's going to be a clear focus from them on working with Nintendo, given how well the games they work on with Nintendo sell. So I think it's a really great sign for the future. I'm excited to see when we will actually hear more about these potential successors to Smash Ultimate and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I think Mario Kart, like I said, will come first, and then Smash, that one's completely up in the air for me. So let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Of course, subscribe here for more Nintendo Switch news, reviews, coverage, and all that fun stuff in between. And follow me on Twitter at BoTalksGames. Until next time, folks, peace.